Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Osereme, and in today's video we are going to be transforming these plain bodies for this corset dress. I'm going to be showing you guys how I go about the lace placement and how I transform this plain dress that you see right here into this beautiful dress right here. Now, I was making this for a bride and there was no way I would film this tutorial from beginning to end because it's going to be very long and literally hours, okay, because this took a lot of time. So I just decided to share with you guys a few tips here and there, the lace placement, the beading, and how I came about making the dress look like this. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely keep on watching because I believe this will be very helpful to you guys as well. So guys, this is the base that I had already worked on, and this is what it looks like. We're going to be making a short skirt inside, and then we are having the lace on top going all the way down, and then I've gone ahead to make this transparent corset and then the corset part as well. Now I have a full video that is paid. It's called the wedding/shopping dress class. In that class I have over 100 videos literally teaching you guys how to go about this step by step. So if you would like to be a part of that class, it is a paid class. You can do well to send a WhatsApp message to the number on the screen, and then we'll show you how to register because registration is currently ongoing for our July edition. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be making use of this lace here. I told my clients to just get 2 yards and she was really very skeptical. I just thought that 2 yards was going to be enough because we only needed it for the skirt part and just to cover the bust area. So this particular client got only 2 yards of lace. So now what I'm going to do is called lace placement. It literally just means you cutting out lace to cover off areas that you do not want to leave like that. So I'm going to be covering up the back with lace. So I've already cut out the lace before I decided to film this as a tutorial because I was doing it just behind the scene, okay? So I'd cut out lace that will cover the back area, as you can see, and I'm just going ahead to pin it on the back. So just like you see me doing like this, if you're doing lace placement, just pin. You can cut out the lace on the client or you can do it on the table. Like in my case here, the client was it here, so I did it on the table and I'm just pinning it on the area where I want it to cover. So the lace was to cover the back, the skirt part, and then the bust area. The front waist area was going to be beaded, okay? So this part is not going to be beaded, so we're covering it with lace. So I'm just pinning down the lace as you can see, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other side as well. So now once you're done pinning everything in place, you should have it looking something like this. And now I'm going to be using my needle and thread to tack it together. Now when you're doing this, you have to be very patient with it because you don't want it to be looking very rough. You want to be as patient as possible and you don't want the thread to show over in front at all. So you're going to place it in and you're going to be going in with the thread and coming out in front, and then just going in exactly where you came out from. So you want to make sure that the thread is not showing. You're hiding the thread as much as possible as you're doing this. And trust me, you're going to do this all the way around. The reason why we are doing this is because this lace is beaded. All right, that's why we are doing lace placement. If it wasn't beaded, we can just go ahead and stitch it down directly with the sewing machine. But if I try to do that with this, it's just going to keep breaking my needle and it's literally just going to keep on like that. So that's why we do lace placement. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch this all the way around to secure it in place, and then I'll show you guys what next. So guys, this is what I had after I was done stitching it down, and you can see it looks really neat. Now I've cut out a part of the lace. I've trimmed it down. This is called a trimming. You cut it out from your lace and use it to cover up areas that you feel are not looking neat enough once you're done with your lace placement. Like this area here, I would be using this to cover it off. So I would just use it to cover this area here. So every area that you feel is not looking nice enough, just cut out trimmings and use them to cover up those areas. And just like you stitch all the way around, you still use your needle and thread to stitch this one down. So you can see as I've placed this one around the neckline of the back now, it makes it look finer and it's better. So I'm going to do it all the way around the edges, all the areas where I had my stitch, where I had it's looking raw, like here. I'll just place something like this here and on this side as well to cover it off and make it look neat. So I'm going to go ahead now and just stitch this down. So this is what the front is currently looking like. And like I said before, we are going to cover the cup area as well with the lace. So to cover the cup area with the lace is very simple. You're just going to bring your lace in like this, and you're just going to place it on the cup where you want to cover. Now, you can do this on your client, like I said before, like when she comes for fitting. But when my client came for fitting, we had only made the base. So she wore the base, it fits perfectly, and we knew that if we do all of this now on the table, it's going to be fine. So I'm just going ahead to pin my lace around the cup. So when you're doing this, don't just place a huge part of your lace. Just take a small part of it and don't use it to cover. Because your cup is not straight, you're going to have a part where the fabric will want to be folding. So just allow it to fold. That's this area here. Then you will cut out that area later. Every other part, stretch it out and pin it down. But there will be a place where it would not agree to stretch out because it's curved. The bust is curved. So you're placing a straight fabric. So you don't expect it to all look straight on it, curved on it, okay? So you can see I've pinned it down around. And what I'm going to do is once I'm done arranging everything and I'm okay, you can see this area that I said you can allow it to stay. You can see the fold there is like an excess because we need to give room for the curve that is on the bust area. So I'm just trimming off the excess that I have after doing this for this cup. So just watch what I'm doing. It's really very simple. And this you can do on your client or on your table. And you see, our client, the dress looked really nice on her. And this was done on the table, not necessarily on her body. So on this area where you have an excess, just trim off the excess like you see me doing like this. Trim it off and then just cover it off like this. Then you can cut out a trimming later to use and finish it up nicely at this area. Trust me, you won't even know that this happened here, okay? So just trim it off like you see me doing like this, and then now you can now pin it down and you have a nice curve here. So guys, this is it. I'm done arranging the cups, making sure it's all covered like I want it to be covered. Now, just like I did on the back pattern, I'm just going to go over and stitch it all the way down and do the exact same thing for this other cup as well. So I'm just going to use my needle and thread now to stitch this lace on the cup. Alright guys, after I was done stitching it down with my needle and thread, this is what I have. You can see this cup looking nice and the other one looking nice as well. Now I'm going to finish it up with trimmings as well, like I said earlier. So before I start doing all the finishing with my trimmings, I'm going to wear the skirt on it. What I did for the skirt part was I actually just made the skirt on its own. Okay, so I made the skirt separately because doing lace placement on something that is only having a half lining would not be easy. So it's just best to sew the skirt on its own, the lace alone, and then wear it into the dress. So just see what I'm doing. So I made the skirt on its own with the exact same measurements that I have on the base of the skirt. So it's very simple. Just make the skirt on your own. So you can use your needle and thread to still sew the lace of the skirt if you feel like your sewing machine will not be able to do it. Or you can use hammer to break the sides that you're going to sew on your sewing machine. You can literally do this on your sewing machine. So once you're done sewing the skirt, just wear it into the dress like I've done here. And then just go ahead and pin it down. So the areas that you will now be doing lace placement for here, stitching with needle and thread, will be small. So you'll not be doing it for the side of the skirt at all. So it will just be for you to secure the waist area, and that will basically be it. So I'm pinning this down nicely. I'm pinning it on the zipper area, and I'm making sure it's not bent in any way. I have to make sure that everything is nice and clean. We had a hip padding here. As you can see, it's popping up a little bit, but it looks nice when she wears it anyway. So I'm just going ahead to pin this all the way around, as you can see, and I'm going to turn it over to the front as well, pin it down, and then trim off the excess that I will have in front, because the front has a basque waistline and this skirt is currently just straight. Okay, so I'm just going to pin this back down, turn it over to the front, and do the same thing there. So now after pinning down the front, you can see I have excess lace at the upper part where I have a basque waistline. I just went ahead to trim it off here, and that's basically it. So now I will go over and use my needle and thread to stitch all the way around the waist. So my loves, this is what I had after I was done stitching down everything. You can see the back is looking really neat. Now, I was talking about trimmings earlier, and I told you guys anywhere that you feel like it's not neat enough, you can cut out trimmings from your lace. This is what I mean. Just carry your lace. Any part that you feel like you can trim off that will look really nice, just go ahead and trim it off. So I have a lot of them here that have already trimmed off. I actually like this particular design. So that's what I'll be using to cover off all these areas that I feel are not looking neat enough. Any area that you just feel is not looking neat enough, you can just use it to cover up, like this waist area where we had a joining, like you see me doing here. So you can do it on the zipper area on the sides where you use your needle and thread to like secure it in place. But this zipper area I have here is looking neat, so I will not be doing it. But for this part here, I'll just use it to cover it off, as you can see. So it's just you placing it and just using needle and thread to secure it in place. Just by me placing it now, you can see how nice it's actually looking. So it makes it look way better, as you can see. And then I'll just trim off the excess that I have here and just go ahead and stitch it down. Do the exact same thing for this side as well. So basically now I'm done with all the places that I need to do my lace placement. So what I'm doing now is doing my final finishing, making sure that the areas that needs to be covered are covered nicely and no part is looking uncovered and looking rough. All right, that is something you have to be very particular about for your lace placement. So now for the front part, I'm literally just going to be covering the bone channels here with the same lace trimmings as well. It's literally very simple. So I'll just take a lace trimming and I'll just use it to cover off the bone channel. Now this is just me recreating a style for my clients, because she actually sent a style and we just recreated it and added our own twist to the sleeve area. That was what we did here. We didn't actually create this particular design on our own. She sent a style and we just recreated it, but changed the sleeve area of it. So the sleeve area you saw was not what she was in the original design, so we created that and that made it our own design at the end of the day. So I'm just covering this bone channel with the lace. As you can see, it looks really nice, and I'm basically just going to do the exact same thing for all the other channels that you see here. So just cover it up nicely with the lace, and once you're through with all of this, you're just going to still use the same needle and thread that you've been working with to secure these trimmings and use it to cover it up in place. So I will just pick my needle and thread and then I'll start stitching this down, but first I'm just pinning it down right now. So guys, this is what I had after I was done stitching the trimmings on the bone channels. Everything is looking nice. So now I am going to be passing my beads. I'm going to be using beads on the transparent area of the front. So now I have a transparent thread, which is what you will need to use for that area. Don't use the red thread, okay? So now I'm going ahead to remove the beads. I got I don't know what this is called. I think this is glass bead, I'm not sure, but this is what I'm using, and I'm just going to be beading it on the areas where I have the transparent corset. Okay, so I'm just going to place it like this and then just take one of the beads and then just continue like that. Obviously you guys know that this took a lot of hours. This was even more than hours. It took a couple of days to actually finish this beading part. So definitely that will not be filmed fully. So after I was done with everything, the beading and all, I've covered up all the areas that needed to be covered. This is what the back is looking like. I wanted to show you guys closely. You can see how clean it is looking, and this is what the front looks like. At this time I was done with the beading. I had secured every area that needed to be secure. You can see around the neckline, the areas that were not clean enough, I used the trimmings to cover it up, and this is what I had. So after that, I went ahead to create this flower designs with my fabric, and then I went ahead to place it around the bust area of one of the sleeve, and then I made a second one to place around the shoulder area to make it look fuller. So at the end of the day, I did 2 flower design. I'm going to be showing you guys later on this channel how to go about doing this flower design on a different tutorial entirely. So this is what I had after I was done making the full dress and covering up all the areas that were looking tacky from our lace placement, and this is what it looked like, and this is what our dress looked like on our beautiful bride. She looked absolutely amazing, and I hope that you guys were able to get 1 or 2 from this particular tutorial. Like I said at the beginning, it was just me sharing tips here and there for you guys, and I know that you guys must have seen 1 or 2 things that you would find helpful. If you like a more detailed class on it, like I said, we had the paid class. We've had this class for over a year now, and you can register for step by step on how to make something like this. With that being said, thank you so much guys for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.